Hello, welcome to the Father's Day Eve edition of the show. I can't believe it's almost the middle of June already. And so we're going to actually begin with an interesting news article that at least I found from this week. And I don't know if we'll see what you think about this also. But the New York State Department of Education has put out a proposal that would essentially make the Regents exams no longer a requirement to graduate from high school. And essentially, uh, basically, what this will do is put new graduation requirements forth, according to this article that I've actually read. And again, welcome listeners for joining us. We're just starting my discussion about how the New York State Education Department is putting forth a proposal that would drop taking the regents from graduation requirements, and they would replace it with what they call the portrait of a graduate. Essentially, what that is that looks at a multifaceted, multidisciplinary approach to redefining the graduation requirements. Essentially, they want to test their critical thinking skills, problem solving, cultural and social emotional competency, and more. And they don't want to require students from taking standardized testing. Now, it's probably, as I said, it's not a requirement, but the I'm sure the option would be there for students to take any Regents exams and graduate. That would probably also mean the dropping of the Regents diploma from the list of diplomas that students can receive. Now, obviously, I and all three of us, Rachel, Elizabeth, and I, we all had to take Regents exams to graduate. We all had to. I remember the amount of work it took to study and prepare for those Regents exams. But I can also feel the opposite side where teachers and schools are in a bind. There is an argument that teachers are not able to really teach because uh, they have to teach to the test, which means they have to follow the curriculum that prepares students to take these Regent standardized exams. I know that not everybody is able to succeed, or at least show what they know and what they're able to perform and demonstrate on a test. And there's multiple ways. I know this article refers to the fact that not a lot of universities, like for example, was it Cornell, and then according to this WAMC article, uh, Cornell and a lot of other universities don't even consider SAT scores anymore, and so and again, that's only in the proposal stage. That is not definite, but I'd love to know what you think. What does it really mean if the Regents goes away, and now they're looking at these other ways of examining a student's ability to graduate, which is probably going to be more. I'd think it's probably going to be more of a holistic uh, approach to it, as well. They'd also be dropping the credits. To the number of credits currently, you need 22 credits to graduate, and that may also be changed. And now they're going to use an approved work or service-based learning experiences, dual credit programs such as early college, high school, like taking high school courses for college credit, uh, and moving to one diploma. So, and I know being in school today nowadays is completely different than when we were in school, and I know there's more ways to demonstrate your understanding or demonstrating what you've learned other than taking a test. I know the final projects that we used to do, I mean, they want to see how you can apply what you've learned and put it into a real world setting. So it's just very interesting to me what they're planning to do, or at least if this even gets to the approval stage. So I thought I'd bring that to your attention because graduation season is coming up, and if passed, this would make this would make a significant impact on the New York State educational, or at least the education of students moving forward, moving away from just the Regents exams to something more holistic or something more complicated, or maybe this could be for the better. I'll give you the link to a Times Union article that I just pulled up here, and as well as a WAMC article that I've also pulled up. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And let me see, WAMC. And you'd like to hear reactions to the possibility that I know currently we have and I don't really know what, there's mixed emotions for this. I mean, we can get reactions on social media. There's reactions on social media that say that, for example, this is a good thing. Others say that this may not be. And we'll share some of the. And I'll share some of the common thoughts from here, at least in the Syracuse community. Yes, Dave, we were just talking about how the New York State Education Department has a proposal in the works that will drop Regents exams as a requirement for graduating from high school, and they would shift more towards a holistic approach, looking more than just test scores, but also what was it? Other things. Just looking. The WAMC article would say. What would say a lot? It would be a portrait of a graduate now. It would be critical thinking, problem solving, cultural and social, emotional. So Regents exams are the current standardized testing. The standardized tests that New York State has in place for passing, or at least completing the core academic courses, saying that if you take this, if you pass the Regents exam, if you pass these exams at the end of your high school career, you will have enough knowledge, or at least you would have at least the required knowledge, and you've required you would have earned the required curriculum to graduate from. You would have learned the necessary curriculum to graduate from high school. Again, let me just sum that up for those of you who are just tuning in. I'm going to just summarize what we were talking about here. And Regents exams are essentially New York State's standardized tests that, as of now, are used to gauge a student's mastery of the learning material. So, essentially, if a typical high school student takes the necessary academic courses and passes the Regents exams at the end of their senior year, and they would have taken these Regents courses since their freshman year, and if they had 22 enough credits, uh, then according to the state, they would meet the necessary requirements for graduation from high school. Now the state education department wants to make a change, wants to put a change, or at least make a change in how they define requirements for graduation. Right now, it's very straightforward. You need a certain number of credits in each of the four core subject areas, as well as other types of courses. Yes, Barron's would take a hit if the state does that. Absolutely. So, and I remember I graduated with not just a Regents diploma, but a Regents diploma with advanced designation. But I could also see that when I went through OCC and SU, I don't think they really counted that. Or, in my opinion, I don't think my admission into OCC and SU completely depended on getting that particular Regents diploma with advanced designation. At least when I went through the admission process for both schools, I never brought that up, or if I did, they didn't really care about that. Kaplan's, if all of these companies that make review books, I'm sure we still have the oodles of Barron's books that we used. They're probably over in the front closet at 51, or at least that's where I remember them last. I'm sure that would also make it easier for students to prepare for graduation. So we will see. Everyone is required to retrieve local NY school requirements. In addition, historically in New York State, it has been an advantage of recognition of students who also achieved NYS Regents diploma at a higher level of education. That would also be true. So we'll be interested. I'll be interested to know if this gets adopted, and if so, how that would change graduation requirements moving forward. I'm sure if they actually approve it, the New York State Education Department would post an outline of the new graduation requirements on their website, and school districts, my hope is that school districts aren't left in the dark. And like for Baldwinsville, for example, they would have to receive guidance from the state. Yes, they may have been adopted or rated into a dumpster. Once you take and pass the exam, you don't really need those books anymore. But I can remember countless of hours trying to use those books to study. So we'll see. School districts, they would not be left in the dark. My hope is that they would not be left in the dark. They'd be able to receive the best guidance from the state, because all of the school districts, they would want their students to succeed in one way or another. So I'll keep you posted on this, but I wanted to bring it as the first topic tonight because I thought that would probably I thought it was an interesting article, and it would make a lasting impact on communities all over the state. Wanted to get your input on it. Employers are also moving to critical thinking. That's true. It's not just what you know in the academics anymore. It's how you can apply yourself and become a well-rounded person in all levels of education. So we're going to. I'll keep you posted on that. We're going to get back to music. It's Blink-182 one more time right here on the Weekend Party Father's Day Eve edition. There we go. Sorry about that. So, we've had a lot of comments in the chat from Mom and Laura about how this is tutoring is important, and essentially these state requirements, which haven't been adopted yet. I want to say they have not been adopted yet. Students who have, but if the state adopts these new graduation requirements, dropping the regents, the new set of graduation requirements would tailor to each each student's individual learning style. And what I hope happens is put each student on their own path to success, which may not be defined by a standardized test. It would be defined by their individual passion and motor to thrive and succeed, and so that they can graduate and become successful. Laura, I didn't really know. I had no idea that you were a tutor, or at least you were part of a tutoring nonprofit organization that helps students master their academics now, master their academic challenges and succeed in their own ways. Now, I didn't realize until Elizabeth told me Kaylee was listening, because she works in the education field. I'd love to hear from her. I don't know if she teaches or at least covers the high school levels, but from an educational standpoint, just because you're in the field of education, I'm just curious what you may have to say about these graduation requirement changes, and whether or not taking regents exams really helps or harms the student, and if your state, if New York, or at least if any state changes the graduation requirements, what would you want to see in place of the regents? And how do you think that would probably help or maybe harm the students' graduation requirements? I don't really know. Graduation requirements. As you think about it, I'm sure there are lots of listeners who missed the fireworks from last week. As you know, last weekend was the Seneca River Days, and unfortunately, for those of you who weren't able to tune in last week, we didn't win anything. Again, this is the 30th year that we've entered, and we've had at least 7 ducks in the competition, and yet none of us were able to win a prize. So, I know I didn't play the fireworks last night, but just for, we're not going to, maybe I'll start with the middle of it and play near the grand finale. But please enjoy a snippet, a small clip of the fireworks from last Friday night. So here we go. I hope you got a kick out of that. I know the fireworks are a real spectacle to see. We always, we always seem to lose. Happy New York State is doing this because Massachusetts has such strict testing rules that it's also impossible. Regents diploma may still be a standardized test that are used for a person to measure their knowledge or success when they're ready. Yes. To support the Baldwinsville Rotary, and there's no fireworks contest actually. Uh, Such strict testing. Yes, I would agree with that. Kaylee, if the requirements are very strict there, then there would not really be much of any pathway to success. It would be very difficult for students to pass what they need. So we'll see what happens. Yes, this was not a fireworks competition. It was part of the Seneca River Days, and as I speak, we have a band playing on Paper Mill Island tonight. The band's name is the Dirty Doves with special guests Mud Affery. Never heard of them. And if you haven't been following, the Paper Mill Island schedule is a little bit different this year. Instead of national touring acts or big names that are coming to perform at the Paper Mill Island, we're not going to have much of that this year. Instead, the Baldwinsville Community for the Arts, the Baldwinsville Center for the Arts is planning different events, such as Shakes Beer. We also have the Community Jazz Band and a lot more community-related events. There's still going to be some big concerts that you want to go to, but it's not as big as, not as attractive as the artists who have performed here before. And so I'm going to find that interesting. There's going to be another event on the 4th where they are going to have fireworks. And can you believe it? Going back to the Facebook memories, if I'm able to share, I want to share one thing from my Facebook memory. This one picture from the Facebook memories that came up on my timeline today. And as I try to scroll, it was, in summary, as I pull it up, it was us. So it was Elizabeth, I, and her friends. That would be Ryan. So that would be Ryan, Grace, Nicole, Kaylee, and Grace's boyfriend, Anthony, at the time. So please bear with me as I pull up this, photo here. That was a blast. So if you remember this, going to the Paper Mill Island, we didn't actually go on the island, but we were on the other side, actually, the Southwest Trail, and we watched the fireworks. I think this was for Seneca River Days. I remember we played my music game outdoors before, just as the fireworks came on, and we all rushed to see them. And then at the end of the night, we took this picture. So I can't believe that was 10 years ago. Number one, that was in 2014, June 15th, 2014. We were all younger during that time, obviously. But still, that was a fun night enjoyed by all. That was also after. So Nicole, I just noticed that Nicole didn't join us that night. But it was interesting that week I was just starting my research project, and we were doing pilot studies. And so I remember Kaylee still lived in Baldwinsville, in an apartment up in Radisson, and I went up to visit her to do the authentication, the security and privacy study about using usernames and passwords. I don't know. As I say this, I'm wondering if you still remember this. So I started with Kaylee and then I went to Nicole and I did the same pilot. I did the same study, and that study actually had some interesting results. And the paper that arose from doing that study was actually published at a SOUPS at a conference called the SOUPS Symposium on Usable Privacy and Security, and we actually did a presentation. We actually did a presentation up in Canada that July. So I'm going to send you. I'm going to put the link. Actually, I'm going to publish the link here. Uh, it can be integrated in the family, peers, and community. Yes, that is a very nice picture. Do any of you remember uh, Elizabeth, Kaylee, Alex? Obviously, wouldn't remember. I'm just wondering if you remember that picture and going to see the fireworks. I know we were playing the music game, so I had the song actually in my head earlier this week, and I was singing along to, and I was trying to learn how to play the piano of this. So it's convenient that Kaylee is listening because I want to know, have you heard this song before? And if so, do you like it? We're going to do the bumper to dump it later in the. We're going to do bump it or dump it later, but because actually I had Kaylee in mind for this particular song, and everybody, if you can think, but I want to know, did you hear this before? And have you heard this before? And what's your thoughts? Do you like it, or is it not your cup of tea? It's Shinedown with a symptom of being human. Coming up next, we'll play a little game, and then it's time for the real bumper to dump it. This hour goes by so fast, so please stay tuned. Thank you, Kaylee, for giving the bump. Vote for Shinedown's A Symptom of Being Human. They also have two other hits that we actually have on here in the station from 2009 if you'd like to hear them. Well, for the rest of you and for everybody involved, it is game time. So if you missed the show last week, we did, in the spirit of playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire at the 2000 Seneca River Days, answering trivia questions about Baldwinsville. That gave me the knack to get to play game show host and do a trivia game, or at least try to do a trivia game each show. So what we're going to do here is it's going to be a 3-question quiz, and essentially the objective is simple. Everybody plays, but you want to be the last player standing. You want to be either the last player standing or one of the last few players standing by the third and final question to win the game. Because here is the catch. You answer even one question incorrectly and you're out of the game. So, and so you need to stay in the game as long as you can. I'm not going to make it as long as last week's. That's why we're only going to do a 3-question quiz. And to help, you have 3 different lifelines or assists. You can pass a question, one question. You can also freeze yourself out of the game. But that's pretty much the same thing. The pass is actually going to be replaced by go with the majority. So your 3 lifelines or assists are freeze yourself out of the game for one question. Save. You're saved. You can use a save, which means if you get the answer incorrect, you can still play the game if you use your save. Or new lifeline number 3, go with what the majority of the players have answered. Now that could be correct or incorrect, but that would come in handy if you aren't certain about an answer, but you're confident that the majority of players would get it right. So we're going to start with question number 1, and I'm going to put the question here in the chat. We're going to play a song, and then when we come back from the break, we will reveal the answers. So, as I think of a question, okay, since last week we did Baldwinsville related, so it sounds like there's fireworks if you heard that loud. Sounds like somebody's trying to set off fireworks if you heard that loud. If you hear that loud bang, looks like somebody's trying to set off some fireworks here as the Paper Mill Island concert's going on. So let me just try to think of a question that everybody's gonna know. And again, these are not multiple choice questions. You have to provide the exact answer on your own. So here's the question. I'll put it in the chat. What is the name of the river that runs through the village of Baldwinsville? You have till this next song to give an answer. So good luck, and let's play. So congratulations. The name of the river that goes through Baldwinsville is the Seneca River. Everybody got it correct. You're still in the game. Congratulations. The Seneca River, yes, the Seneca River is the correct answer. Moving on, I was going to come up with a question, but I didn't really. I was going to come up with a musical question that had something to do with music notes, but I figured that would be a little bit too challenging for a second level question. So instead, I am going to go uh, with a more. Yes, the house that you're selling at 51 Oswego Street. It is part of the original Baldwin history, exactly. It was, I believe, that whole street was on the National Register of Historic Places, and uh, a few houses on that street. I know the one next door to us, where the Connells used to live, was a station on the Underground Railroad. So the Baldwinsville has a very rich history, if you can't believe it, or if you believe it or not. There is a lot of rich history that goes into the Civil War. Uh, we had uh, we had a whole unit, Battery B. That's why we have streets named Artillery Lane and Terrace up near where uh, Liz Karen Test used to live. Was from a potential. So you have. We are in the process of selling the house. So news flash, breaking news for those who haven't heard. We have a lot of potential buyers who are interested in making an offer on the 51 Oswego Street house, which is, at least that's a very good sign. And they want whatever they want to do with it. They want to turn it around. They want to lift it. No, I'm sorry, not lift it. The first trip to Gettysburg. Yes, they want to flip the house. So according to what I've heard moms say, whoever's going to buy this house is going to flip it, or is interested in flipping it and turning it into a better livable condition. So that's good news for us. It's going to be bittersweet because at least I have a lot of nostalgia attached to that property. But given the condition that it's currently in, I'm glad it's at least going to somebody else. So, and actually, this next question in the game is going to tie loosely. Yep, it's going to tie loosely to one of the activities that Elizabeth may remember this. We would go outside in the backyard and sit on. They cannot destroy the. Oh yes, they can only renovate what's inside and make it better. So, Elizabeth may remember this. We had these green chairs, and we would actually drum kind of to the beat and sing some songs, and one of them was from an act from a commercial that you may remember. So, enough blabbering on. The question is, I'm going to type it and then I'm going to read it out loud. So, please stand by. Question number 2. What toilet paper manufacturer uses bears as their mascot? You have 90 seconds as we play this PSA break, so good luck. Okay, we're not quite going to the music just yet. The correct answer is Charmin. The correct answer is... for bonus points, who can tell me the jingle? Or who can tell me what the actual jingle was? Because before we had the contemporary commercials, there was a jingle, or at least there was a song that went with it, and at the end of the song there was a jingle or a tagline. And Mom actually has this interesting fact. The softest toilet paper is not the best for your plumbing system. You'll know if your toilet paper is biodegradable if you just put a small rule in a jar and see how long it takes to break down in a jar. Well, that's interesting. Yes, the correct answer is Charmin. We would actually don't squeeze the Charmin. Unfortunately, Laura is incorrect. She answered Cottonelle, so she is out of the game. Everybody else gave the correct answer, so we have one more to go. And let's see if you can get this one, actually. And we're actually going to play the... we're actually going to play the Family Feud song as the last song for question number 3, and this is probably going to be the most difficult one. Dave is correct. Don't squeeze the sharp, even though it's spelled incorrectly. He did get the answer correct. So Laura is the only player who has been eliminated from the game because she answered Cottonelle, unfortunately. So, okay, hold on one second. Let me just give... I'm typing up the answers. I'm typing up, not the answer, but the question, the last question of the game. Okay, the final question is, name the notes on the black keys of one octave on a piano keyboard from left to right. This will require, if you don't play the piano, this will require a lot of critical thinking. So, best of luck, and we'll see who's left at the end of this question. D, C, unfortunately, the answers, based on the answers that I have received so far, most, if not all of them, are incorrect. I'm sorry to say. Unfortunately, Elizabeth put CDBAE, and that is not the correct order. Dave said DCAE B flat. That is also not correct. What about Janet and Mom? Yeah, Laura, Janet, and Mom. Okay, sorry. Unfortunately, I knew that was going to be a stumper, and I just didn't real. And I thought that we would get a lot of incorrect answers. The correct answer, by the way, from left to right in order. Uh, the correct answer is C sharp, then E flat, then F sharp, then A flat, and B flat in that order. So, uh, unfortunately, was in. Unfortunately, that is incorrect. So we can say that most everybody's been eliminated. That eliminates everybody for the game from the game. Unfortunately, that's unfair. So I'm going to give you a bonus question, and we will see if anybody gets this correct. So everybody's still back in the game, and I'm going to ask one final question. Again, this hopefully is going to be easier. And as I try to think, yes, it's easy to me because I'm able to. I've looked at a piano keyboard, and I tend to memorize all the notes. I know not every. Okay, so actually, because we got to get the bumper to dumpets in. No more questions. Thank you very much for playing the game. We're going to. I'm going to get right into the bumper to dump it then, if that's the case. So, as I put in the songs here, I want to give everybody the opportunity to play. So we are going to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the songs here. Just stand by. Okay, let's see. Okay. So I know everybody. We have to accommodate. So we're going to try to move this along. So Bumper to Dumper begins with Chapel Roan, Good Luck Babe. Voting begins now. Unfortunately, that last one did not go over too well. I figured I know my audience, but I wanted to give it a try. It's big on the hit. It's about to become a hit. I heard it on AT40 last week. So we will see. We will see. So good night, Mazel Tov, and stay forever living. Thank you very much for tuning in to the show, and we'll do this again. Actually, tomorrow maybe we'll have a bonus. We'll have a bonus show tomorrow. So please stay tuned for that. Thank you. Good night.